We were already.
Hello, everybody. Here we are at Quantum Leap Revisited, our weekly show where we celebrate the original, the classic, the good Quantum Leap, the series that started in 1989. And every week we do a rewatch, review, and discussion about another episode of the series. This week we have the episode Jimmy, which is season 2, episode 8. And a lot of people know this episode from memes and such, but it actually is an interesting episode of television, and today we're going to discuss it here with this great panel of gentlemen that you are probably familiar with already, but I'll just quickly introduce them. We have with us Sean Krummel, the real Sean Krummel, not to be confused with a fake Sean Krummel.
I do it all the time.
And Sean has his own sticker collection, which he created, which you can buy on his Etsy store. The link is in the description below, but I believe it's Sean Krummel Art, real Sean Krummel Art on Etsy. What is it?
Real Sean Krummel Art.etsy.com.
Exactly. So that's where his stickers are. In addition, he has his own channel where he does some cool drawings and retro comic book reviews, and occasionally a stream about pop culture and entertainment. You should check it out. How's it going, Sean?
Good. Happy to be back.
And we're happy to see you here today. Next, we have the Script Doctor. Script Doctor is an experienced screenwriter who has his own Patreon where he guides and teaches people the art of screenwriting. So that's one thing that you guys should check out. In addition, he has his own YouTube channel, The Script Doctor. Has a lot of cool videos. Recently started his own weekly show called Script on Saturdays. It is at 7:30 p.m.
7 o'clock.
Oh, and you know what's weird is that I'm gonna be on that show, and I have to remember I don't know why I always say 7:30. There's something wrong with me, but yeah, it's 7 p.m. I've been on it, and I was there at 7.
Yep.
But in any case, it's at 7 p.m. and it's a great show where Script goes over scripts that Hollywood studios had considered greenlighting, but for some reason the scripts didn't get made. Scripts that were kind of on this list of potential good scripts that Hollywood was interested in. He reviews them every week. Really interesting discussions go on there, and it's something unique that I don't actually see it all exactly the way he does it on any other channel, so I highly recommend it. Finally, we have veteran news industry professional Ro, who, in addition to his years working in the broadcast news industry, he has his own podcast, the Scarif Podcast, also known as the Scarif Scuttlebutt Podcast, where he discusses a lot of Star Wars, but he's also, in general, very, very knowledgeable about science fiction. And you can find this podcast anywhere there are podcasts, whether it's Apple or Amazon or Spotify or anything. He's been doing this for years. A lot of great content and stuff that you can check out from Ro on all of these major platforms. In addition, he has his own YouTube channel, which he does some stuff there too, of course. And he is the co-founder of the Red 5 Network, a network where there's other people who look for him. He's their spiritual leader.
They called me the Podfather.
The Podfather, exactly. And Just in regards to Nick, the Backyard Tardis, he may pop in here. He has some family stuff to take care of. I'm still hopeful that he'll be able to stop by. But in any case, we're gonna already jump into this episode. We're gonna jump into the Jimmy episode, which is, like I said at the beginning, a lot of people today see this, and it's mainly because there's the meme of. It is a funny meme. It's hard not to appreciate the humor of the meme, but usually Scott Bakula looking in a mirror and seeing himself with Down syndrome, and then he says his line, and somehow that is used in a lot of videos until am I right? That I see this video a lot, right?
Sure. I don't know.
It's been used frequently.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like I see it a lot. I mean, whether it's videos that somebody made or even just memes online, I feel like I see it. And as usual, we have some great people here in the chat, which is always great to see. Joshua Calkins, Tex Rogers, Rhonda Nefero, Lisa Katrayin. She said I wasn't pronouncing her name right, and now I'm going to say it's Lisa Katrayin.
Katrine.
I would say Katrine.
Yeah.
I liked saying Lisa Katrine because it sounded cool, but I was apparently not saying it correctly, so it's Lisa Katrayin. Maybe she can tell me if I said it correctly. We have Dust. We have some great people here.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's jump into this episode.
The greatest tap dancing you'll see on YouTube in a long time.
We're adults. We can say it.
I have to share this thing. Give me a second. Share screen. Okay.
Here we go.
Is it can
There you
anybody
go. Beautiful. It's perfect.
good?
Yep.
Yep.
So the episode starts off. They're looking at the previous episode with the rabbi and the grieving family. And now he leaps. And he's seems to be a young man or a kid or something in his eyes. And then another kid comes in and shoots him, so he pretends he's been hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy, who's actually his brother, comes in and talks to him about his new job. And then Sam looks in the mirror. And at this point, I think the brother says, if people are asking you, I don't know, does he say that he's retarded first, or does the brother tell him, don't tell?
No, I think that's later.
So
Right.
you got to get ready for work.
Right, he's
we
trying
don't
to-
wanna be
Right.
late.
Right. And then he
Yeah.
says,
Or if you say,
he says something like, if people ask, tell them you're slow, not retarded.
Right.
And then he looks in the mirror, and then I think he says, I'm retarded. And then like the thing starts.
Yeah.
pointless nitpick, there's a Superpowers lunchbox on his desk, and that didn't come out till the 80s.
It's funny because this episode in particular, I also was looking in the background, and for some reason, it's funny because I was looking at all the props in the kitchen later on, and really, props to the prop department because there's some really great products in there from the 60s that are on the table, which are kind of funny.
There's also a creepy elf cookie jar that I'll show later, maybe.
So this is happening in October 14th, 1964. The brother here, he's, being affectionate with his wife. Now, this is the first day on the job for Sam, who's,
He's going to get a job.
He's interviewing. Yeah.
He's interviewing. Sorry, he's interviewing for the. You know what I'm saying.
I do. They don't.
I want to confess here. I just got off a flight, so everybody's going to be helping me out today. But
Yeah, I'm just gonna interrupt you if you get something wrong. Nope.
I think it's good. You all should be doing that because there may be kind of a. I'm gonna try my best here. So, any case, they're sitting down at the meal, and Sam is clumsy all the time. He's like spilling things. He spills milk. He's like I don't want to say an idiot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, set it up. He's living with them. The wife is not really crazy about it, and the brother, they are brothers. He's trying to help him get a job at where he works on the docks, and I forget if they address like her concerns fully here, or we're just setting it up still.
I think she still has the stigma that society had of these type of individuals that, you know, they say that they belong in an institution or hospital, whatever, to get taken care of, and she just doesn't want to deal with it because it is a lot of work. They mentioned later on that you know, we have to keep an eye on him all the time, and
he's like a big child,
right? Yeah. So I think that's kind of the crux of her fears and in her her insecurities, and obviously, you know, he's going to be going around breaking things, and that doesn't fly well with her.
And I have a question. I see that Tex Rogers was echoing it. Was he being clumsy? I'm trying to. I saw this recently, but it's been a few weeks. Is he being clumsy because he leaped into a guy with Down syndrome, and he's being clumsy because of that, or is he being clumsy because he's now just become clumsy?
He has no control over it. Actually, I think. I was going to bring it up because I think we ask you like every episode is like how much of the person he's leapt into does he retain, and how much is Sam. So like later on he'll say I'm a klutz, I can't help it, I'm so clumsy, I'm breaking stuff and everyone's yelling at me. So
right, and this kind of makes Sam feel defeated this time, which we don't usually see him like so frustrated. But yeah, I also agree with what Ro was saying that in 1964, somebody with Down syndrome was considered, you put him in an institution and never think about him again. And out
of sight, out of mind type of mentality. Really?
Yeah, yeah. And that's what Connie, the Frank's wife or whatever, that's what she prefers. She would like to see him there. But, you know, it seems like things are on the up and up. And, they, you know, Al basically tells him, you got to get that job, I think.
Well, yeah, it's all about getting Jimmy a job so that he can actually kind of live on his own and take care of himself. And one of the things that the wife is worried about is something that was very common for a lot of families at that point, which was, oh, if there's someone with Down syndrome or a mental handicap, that might negatively impact the child's growth in the family. And I mean, that's not true, but it was a stigma that they had at that time. And that's one of the reasons why the wife kind of wants to get him into a care center. And the brother, who I absolutely love, I think he's like one of the coolest characters in this show, believes so much in Jimmy and what he can do. And he's happy to look out for him, but he also knows his limitations. But he's like, you know, he genuinely loves his kid. Oh, sorry, his little brother. He definitely loves his kid, but he also loves his little brother. And he's there's some sort of friendship there that's beyond just the fact that, you know, the big brother has had to kind of look out for him and take care of him for a lot of the time. There's something more going on there.
Yeah, even though he has an annoying wife, he's still taking care of his brother.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I think that's going into this episode, I didn't think I would enjoy it or like it, but I think because the brother is so kind to Jimmy, you see his struggle. I really started to connect with him as a character and the compassion that he had, you know, always being understanding and soft with Jimmy. You can see their relationship, and it, you know, later on when what happens, it just, you know, it breaks your heart that that Connie is, you know, making the brother do what you know, they end up doing later on.
Yeah, Connie's very annoying. I think Sam should have leaped into here to get rid of her, but
I really hated her the entire episode.
I wanted Al to say, Sam, you're leaving this, you have to get rid of her.
He's like, take care of her.
Maybe they should have pushed her into the river.
Spoiler.
So sorry, guys. I'm still a bit out of it, and I'm really, really trying here.
Tex Rogers mentioned. Well, they'll mention it later. She's probably freaking out about how strong and big he is. He might accidentally hurt the kid.
Yeah. She was annoying in this episode. In any case, this is a situation where they arrive at work and Michael Madsen, of all people, that would later be in Reservoir Dogs and other stuff. He arrives here and he's sort of the bad guy, the antagonist. He doesn't like Jimmy. He's making fun of him, stuff like that. And Frank actually wants to kind of confront him, but Sam is kind of telling him, no, it's not a good idea.
It's like, it doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me. It's all good.
Very happy about it.
So they show up here, they're doing this thing. Yeah, I like this brother character. He's so nice to him, even though, I mean, again, in 64, they were unfair towards people like this, but you don't know if a person is going to be able to do this job or not. And the faith that the brother has in Jimmy, Sam, or whatever, I do think that is cool. The brother certainly looks like a positive guy.
Oh, and Sam is like, well, at least Jimmy and I had something in common. Neither of us had ever been on a job interview. And I was like, oh, high and mighty Sam must be real nice, you jerk.
So basically, they start working here, right? He gives them the job.
Man, your video is a lot less green than my TV was with Al's shirt, man. He showed up and it was just like, poof.
So they're here on the job. Remind me what they're talking about here.
They're having lunch.
Yeah, they're having lunch, and the brother's talking about how much their dad would have been proud of him, because we learned that his dad, I guess, as he got older and was unable to take care of Jimmy had to put him in a care center.
That's right.
Yeah, right. It broke his heart. And what ended up happening is when his brother got, situated enough, he was able to pull him out, and he's trying to get him back into the, the real world, essentially. And he ended up just loving the brother even more for that, because he didn't have to do that, but he did.
Right, and that's the danger here, is that according to the society norms here, Sam, Jimmy would be put back into an institution, and everything the brother is doing now is trying to keep that from happening.
He's trying to prove the whole episode that he's capable of taking care of himself.
Yeah.
Now there's a bit of a, remind me here, they're arguing. Again, he's picking on him. What's going on here?
He was they were unloading the sacks, throwing them to him, and two of the guys are being jerks and threw them at the same time. So he dropped one, and then what's his name? Michael Madsen starts giving him crap, and then they start fighting.
Yeah, and then Sam gets a few good punches in, and then, it's all about, it was getting him into a situation where he could have gotten fired. But luckily his brother stepped in and quell the situation. But Sam is starting to get more and more affected by the limitations of Jimmy's body on him and his psyche.
Which I think is great. Playing off of, he always has a Swiss cheese brain. Now he's dealing with physically fumbling all the time.
Now he fumbles the clocking out, right? He tears it, or the card, or something stupid like that, right?
Right.
Yep. And of course it would happen at that exact moment.
Yes.
Now Frank arrives, and his sneaky and malicious wife is there, and
jeez.
And they're making dinner. It's going to take the pot roast like an hour to unfreeze or something. And he's got ulterior motives, and Jimmy and the kid are going to go outside and play. You know what was missing in this episode was a cameo of a famous person, unless I missed it.
No, and you know what? I think it's good that the less cameos. I don't need the cameos personally, but yeah,
based on the fun little twist that could qualify as a cameo. I thought that the kid Corey was gonna grow up to be someone famous, actually, and have like changed his name or something.
So here, there's a situation where they're playing football, and the football flies into like the other guy's yard or something. And then when he says that Jimmy is stupid or whatever, they start fighting. And then again, it's like there's nonstop problems with Jimmy. And again, the wife, who was never supportive to begin with, is even less supportive now.
Sure.
And then what happens? What's the drama here? Did she tell him like, oh, you got to go to an institution or whatever? Or
I think they're talking about, I don't want you hanging around with my kid. And,
right. That's
like the big body situation. You can hurt somebody. You're scaring the neighbors, sort of thing.
Yeah. So she did that. Then they're washing the car. It's nice. The brother is still trying to hang on here and still whatever. Sam is trying to do something to show that he's responsible, but then he's an idiot again.
Right.
And he breaks, I think, her grandmother's china plate, something or whatever. I could be wrong. Is there some grandmother china thing?
Yep.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
There is.
Okay. My memory has become Swiss cheese, but at least I remember that.
It sounds like it.
This is actually, if I remember correctly, this is the part where Al tells Sam about the story about his own sister, who had Trudy, who had a mental disability, how his father ended up working somewhere else in the Middle East or something, and they dropped him off at an orphanage, and Trudy had some institution where she died of pneumonia. This is actually one of 16. Those at 16. Yeah. This is one of those moments where, you have an actor like Dean Stockwell that could just turn off all that kind of comic relief in a second and really deliver like a powerful performance and really great scene here. Which
I had to rewind it because I was listening to it while I was working, and kind of watching it off to the side of my eye, and it was such a powerful little scene that I had to kind of rewind it again to see it. But Dean Stockwell, I wish I saw this series when it first came out. He is amazing. I
agree. It's like he's sort of a jack of all trades on this show. You want comic relief, he's there. You want somebody serious, he's there. Like he just switches from one second to another, and it doesn't actually ruin or spoil his character.
Right.
Like it's not that now that he was serious, the next time he shows up and starts looking at the ladies and smoking a cigar, you're not going to think that there's anything wrong. You know what I mean? He doesn't. You accept that he has multiple layers to his personality.
Sure.
Well, even when he first comes in earlier, he's talking about Ziggy having mood swings, and now they're thinking about putting a female computer next to them with hard disks. And it's like, Al's like my favorite part. Every time he shows up, he makes me happy.
Sam's like, you would.
So now they're sitting together, and this is a Star Wars thing, actually, because
he starts telling the kid a story, and my ears perked up. I'm like, I think I know this one.
He's basically telling him Star Wars. Is that like remind me of the scene?
He's telling him the crawl, the Star Wars crawl.
Right, exactly.
Let me tell you a story. It was a time of rebellion, blah, blah, blah.
Like word for word. Can't remember half of his family from growing up, but he remembers the exact crawl.
He remembers the crawl,
yeah. He would have been like, what, 23 when he saw it? 24?
Yeah.
Sam was born in like 54, right? So yeah, he would have been already an adult, and he still remembers Star Wars. Like, that's pretty impactful.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So he tells him the story. Then the next day they're here at the thing, and it seems like he's doing okay. He's here. He's doing his thing. Mm-hmm. But then once again, there's an issue with this.
What's his name? Blue?
Yes.
Blue.
Yeah.
So.
And we find out that he can't really read numbers. He's got dyslexia.
Right. He picks up the wrong card, and I think that Sam is trying to correct him. But of course, basically, he does some weird thing. He crashes them or does whatever, and he pins it all on Jimmy.
Right.
Somehow.
He forgot to close the valve on the floor lubricant or something, whatever he was using on the floor, and made the situation dangerous. And Blue was saying, "I don't want to work with him."
And then his brother's like, "You get rid of him, I quit."
Right.
Right. And at this point, the brother is already in trouble because he tells his wife, "Listen, I'm going to get another job and it's all going to be okay." And she's like, "No, I've had enough of this. Like, you're putting your brother in an institution." And then he kind of understands that he has no choice. Mm-hmm. So that's what he's got to do. And even Sam himself isn't really fighting or something. I think Al's annoyed with him.
Yeah, he's just letting it happen, and Al's freaking out about it.
Right.
But then, good.
But then, finally, Sam does something. He takes the truck, and he goes down to the shore, or whatever it is.
The dock.
And the dock. Sorry, you know what I mean. And the kid rides after them with a bike. And then he arrives, and he basically explains that this guy has dyslexia and he can't read the signs properly, and it was his fault. And I think that at this point they try to test him, and it turns out that Sam was right and this guy was lying, and sort of Sam proves that he's worthy of the job and the other guy should get fired.
It wasn't clear to me, like the boss seemed to flip too easily. I think they should have had Blue demonstrate maybe a little more that Sam was right, or that Jimmy was right, because it seemed like they were hemming and hawing, and then just the boss just kind of arbitrarily made a decision to side with Jimmy without.
It is a bit convenient.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often on this show that I'd say that things are that convenient, but I think it is rather convenient. Script, what do you think about it?
I think for the purposes of the episode and the formula that they've done so far, I think it serves its purpose. I don't think they needed to go any much further. They just kind of had to get to the point, because we're leading into the climax where an accident happens and, Corey falls into the water and we got to, follow up with that. So it's like, this is the point where they're setting up that Jimmy is capable, with the help of Sam, to doing the things that it's required, but now he has to do the final hurdle, which is now win over his sister-in-law.
And we got to wrap this up. We got hamburgers to sell during the break.
Yeah.
And you can always headcanon it and say that the boss just hated him anyway. And
right.
It was just growing, and then he's like, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's... So at this point, this guy gets upset that he was fired, and he drives through Al, but then he crashes into the thing where the sun is
a bunch of crates, yeah, and then
and of course the sun is there. He was hiding a bit convenient, but whatever, it's fine. The boy falls, and then Sam here, they pull him out of the water. And Sam actually knows CPR, and he says it's something he learned at the institution, which is weird, but okay. I mean, I understand that's the best he could do, and it's fine. I think
he improvised because he wanted to take action.
Right. No. It's all fine. And then they do the resuscitation, and then he saves the boy, and then after that, Connie, the wife, is no longer the disgruntled, manipulative, evil woman that she was.
You missed a very important point, though.
What is it?
When the boy isn't responding, he's like, "You can't die. You'll miss watching Star Wars."
Yep.
This is our second Star Wars reference.
Wow. He says that to him?
Yeah. He says, "You can't die. Wake up.
You'll never
see Star Wars."
That's actually funny. I didn't remember that. He remembered the original part. I didn't remember this, but yeah. So the kid wakes up, and now finally Sam is like, Jimmy is accepted into the family. Everything is great. The wife now is less evil, and the brothers, they hug and embrace or whatever, and then he leaps, and now he seems to be in the South
as an attorney
for a black woman
who's accused of murdered.
Right, and then the episode ends. I don't know if
next one's. It looks like it's going to be a real blast.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, you know, I was kind of expecting this episode to be kind of a dud because the last few episodes have been really, really strong. And, you know, I guess I was thinking that you can't ride this type of high like consistently, but it has been pretty damn consistently good. And I think next week is going to, you know, be the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this show generally has a very consistent level of writing. You know, in the later seasons, you could say that maybe they tried some ideas and maybe you may not like all of them, but I've always enjoyed what this show has to offer, and I think that I've enjoyed it through basically during its entire run. So now, oh wait, I see Nick is here.
Oh.
Hello,
hey
hello.
Nick, how's it going?
Going okay. I've had you in one ear while doing stuff, so I've been keeping up with the conversation.
Good,
awesome.
Welcome,
so
Nick.
yeah, I had a feeling you'd show up, but I kind of didn't want to promise, so I kept it vague. But everything is coming together like a puzzle.
Yeah, and just some of those last couple of scenes there. I liked what they gave the guy as his reason for why he was bullying, because that's something I was recently trying to explain to my daughter. You know, that bullies at school, they're usually somebody that has something that they're an inadequacy of themselves that they're trying to hide,
right,
and mask. And so that's exactly what he's dyslexic, which is not a big deal, but he doesn't want people to think less of him, so he's putting down this person who's mentally disabled, trying to puff himself up.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, I mean, also surprisingly, there have been episodes that I think we like dissect every scene, and there's a lot to dissect. This one was kind of simple and straightforward in that sense. I think that there weren't a million nuances here. I think that what you see is what you get, but still tackling a subject like this, even though it's 1989 and they're showing that in 1964 people were less accepting, it was still a topic that's relevant for discussion. Maybe even it's still relevant for today. It still means something. I mean, not everybody has met somebody maybe with Down syndrome or doesn't know a lot about it, and I think that the show really it on one hand it showed why maybe you should be more accepting and tolerant and things like that towards a person like Jimmy, but at the same time it didn't say it was a walk in the park, meaning it showed that there's also challenges. It wasn't just a one-sided thing, but I think that it showed a kind of it did show kind of a more layered more layered portrayal of it, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Doesn't tell you how to think, it just shows you different viewpoints, like we usually say. That's what all good science fiction is.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is that in modern shows and movies, what usually happens is, and I won't get into the new show, Quantum Leap, but I actually can say that even that one included, is that they just decide on one direction, meaning whoever would write the episode would probably decide that you have to say that that he has to be accepted, and there's no, you couldn't show in the episode that he broke a plate or did anything bad. People would just tell him how great he is, and he would say he's great, and that's how the episode would play out. I'm not sure why, but that's what it seems like, because they don't want to offend anybody.
We're gonna have to start a drinking game so that anytime you mention the news show, we all have to take a drink.
Oh, there's a list, man. Nobody mentioned goats yet, but it's on the list every week.
One of the things that I think is so important about this is that people of our generation are so afraid to talk about this subject. They trip over their words trying to talk about this subject, that I look at like my daughter's generation. She's going to meet somebody out in public who's has Down syndrome. She's not going to know what that is. And she's going to go, what's wrong with that person? What's it, stuff like this is good because it helps us to understand. And now it seems that they're bubble wrapping everything so much to protect us that then it's going to turn around and we're not going to have any knowledge and it's going to go back to being worse.
Yeah, because anytime you have an extreme, it's not good. Not an extreme that you're against something or you paint it also in the other light. I think that this episode at least showed it showed multiple angles of what it could mean to have somebody with Down syndrome in your household. But ultimately, I think it tries to show you that if a person with that condition is nurtured properly and with the proper support from a family, could find its place, even if it does take a lot of work, even if it's not easy. And I think that that's sort of the message here, which is a good message. And with the exception of the wife who, I didn't like her, and even at the end when she's nice, I'm not sold on her. But the brother was really nice, and
my note for her at the end was, "Shut up, Connie."
She was annoying. She was annoying. They're very unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
I think Script brought it out earlier of the perception that it was going to harm her child's development. And in that, while her behavior may be wrong, it is understandable as a parent, especially a mother. They're very protective about their child, making sure their child is getting the right development and education. And, that's a natural concern. It's causing her to take a wrong action, but I can see where she's coming from with her limited knowledge at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we also have to be understanding that during these years, that's the way society looked at people, and she's the representative of society. The brother is actually sort of an anomaly. He's actually acting sort of not in tune with exactly how society was, because Jimmy's his brother. He really wants to find a different solution for him. And I think that that's handled very well.
Yeah, there's nothing really more I can add to that. Like this is an episode that does a lot on its own. Like it doesn't need much for the audience to really fill in the blanks or put anything together. It's just really empathetic. You've got Sam really just trying to do his best with these limitations that he's never expected to experience. You've got Al, who is really attached to this situation because of what he was unable to do for his sister. All these layers just are really, they feel really authentic. And I like how Sam uses some of his own guile to kind of solve these problems by, just being the best that he can.
I agree. And also, I mean, we compliment them a lot, but I think that every episode that we see here, it's easy to appreciate the work that Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell do here. I mean, to be on a show that one week you're a rabbi and the next week you're a kid with Down syndrome, I mean, that's really like very challenging, I assume, as an actor. And I think that Scott Bakula really manages to carry himself with such kind of grace, in such a cool way that he jumps between these characters. I've always really liked his performances here.
I would think that'd be an actor's dream job to be able to play so many different things.
Exactly.
If you're a good actor, you have to be a good actor for that to be your dream job. I mean, if
it's
you're
never monotonous.
Yeah,
right. But a lot of actors couldn't pull that off. I mean,
Sure.
It's not just your dream. Yes, it's a dream, but you also have to be good enough to sell that every time. And not only is Scott Bakula good, again, you have this 1-2 punch of Dean Stockwell showing up and actually stealing scenes when you just give him the opportunity, which is just great to see every time. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of these episodes work. I mean, I honestly think that an episode like this without two leading men of this caliber, it may not work. So somehow all these components work. The writing is good and their acting is good, and it just all comes together. And yeah, I think that most of the episodes, I think all of the episodes we've seen until now have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say you were talking a little bit right before I came on about, plot convenience, and I agree that the boss should have said, no, actually read it, not just believe him, but actually say, no, I want you to read it. Yeah. But there was one thing, I thought Al's performance in this was really great, but there was one trend, and I'm almost positive it doesn't go through the whole show, but it's just been kind of a couple of episodes, is that Al's pretty worldly, but at a certain point, I don't want him to have a personal connection to every story. It was like the rabbi one. He's like, oh yeah. I just when he was trying to start the civil rights movement, he's like, hey, I marched, I did. You don't want it so that every time Al's like, oh no, I have a personal connection to this one.
They do maybe overuse. They do play that hand maybe a bit too much, but they're so good at delivering it that I guess I'm very forgiving. But you're right. It's not an unreasonable argument to make that often Al has some kind of knowledge or connection or something. But at the same time, it kind of helps move the story forward, and it always helps that Al brings something to the table that he knows something that Sam may not know. So it's not terrible, but yes, perhaps they use that. They've used that a number of times for sure.
And this is the only time that it's kind of made me stop and think about it, because this was a very specific thing. But
right.
It was something that I thought when I saw the episode. It's like, man, it's like he's like super personal invested into this, and like they're writing it into his backstory. But I'm just thinking, well, they can't do that for this many seasons, or he's gonna have one crazy life. But then again, he is Al.
He's Al. Come on, what can you do? I mean, also, you have to have some goodwill. It's a show about that he's time traveling. They have to make this work somehow. You know what I mean? Like, there's only two characters on this show. Basically, there's two characters that are in every episode, and the show tries to make the best use that it can from these two characters. So I'm not disagreeing with you, Nick. I'm just saying that I'm okay with it. I haven't been bothered by it until now.
Ro, I'm surprised you didn't mention the hubcap camera trick. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that were good. I like the hubcap one. The mirror was great too. But yeah, for sure, I like the hubcap one was a good one.
What do you think in general? I mean, there were also the cinematography, the production, whatever. They had that launch.
There was a lot of. Somebody mentioned it in the chat. There's a lot of tracking shots, like a lot of wide shots that showed the environment and then the neighborhood a little bit, and and obviously the dock. Obviously, it was a large, location, so you wanted to kind of see and feel the environment. I like that. It gives you the sense of production value, and opens up your imagination to be enveloped in that world, right down to the Cocoa Puffs box. So I like that.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought it was also interesting. I think that Michael Madsen is a good bully.
Mm-hmm. He's always such a good a-hole.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's like.
Did we lose you? You cut out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cut out. You're still there, Price?
Maybe he fell asleep from the jet lag.
Oh, no.
Something. Can
He's
you
back.
hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
now we can.
Something happened where my antivirus was trying to do some firewall thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Always at the wrong time.
A likely story.
No, it's the truth. It really is true. But I was saying that getting Michael Madsen is great. It's nice. Yeah, I thought that there was a really good cast this episode. Even the guy that played the brother, Script. You said that you recognize him from somewhere else. I don't remember where he's from.
Tons.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He's a pretty frequent character actor. His name is John D'Aquino. He's been around in lots of stuff. He was in Xena Warrior Princess. He's been in Third Rock for the Sun a few times. He was on Jag for a bit. He's just done a lot of TV stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. That would actually make sense. And
even the boss was in a lot of stuff too, like another character actor. It's weird to see like so many in just one episode. Usually it's like, oh, that one guy was in like 100 other things, but this one it's like these 3 guys were in like a combined total of like 300.
Well, the actor that plays Jimmy, I think he's like in the 90s. Anytime they needed somebody with Down syndrome, he was kind of like the go-to guy, because I've seen him in a number of things. I recognized him instantly.
And somebody in the chat says that he returns in a later episode.
Yes.
Wow.
2 episodes, actually.
Cool.
Right. Actually, technically more than one.
More than one more.
I think I may have another one of those firewall things. I don't know what's going on. Weird things are happening. I hope my computer isn't under attack. But basically,
Connie
too much positivity, Price.
In any case, sorry, go on, Sean.
Just a weird coincidence. I just watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape for the first time like a week ago, and Connie is one of the daughters in that movie, so didn't even recognize her.
Well, I want to just acknowledge that there's a few other people here. Matthew Marcillo. We have White Bear 2. Hey, how's it going, man? Nice to see you here. I'm not sure. I guess this is the CPR. You're saying he used the force on the kid's chest, I guess.
The camp in some more headcanon, Sean. The kid could grow up to be George Lucas.
That was what I was thinking. Like he was gonna change his name or something.
Yeah.
The wife is less evil. I guess Dust was quoting what I said. Super Mario Brothers 3, always good to see you. Super Mario Brothers 3 usually is one of the first people to watch our streams after we're done streaming and then leaving a comment. But today he joined us live, which is cool. Finally, the Jimmy episode. We would see Jimmy 2 more times in the series.
That's cool.
First in the let's not spoil things for people here. Super Mario. I don't disagree with what you said, but we're not going to spoil.
The first to watch the stream after it's ended, that's like being first, but super late.
And then there were other people. Oh, first of all, so it's Lisa Katrain.
She spelled it out up earlier tonight.
So how do I say it, Ro?
I think it was Katrain. Isn't that right?
Katrain.
Somebody cut this and just loop it.
Katrain.
Yeah, Ishmael is here. It's nice to see you too. Also, a guy that we see either here or later watches them. Yeah, really nice turnout of people.
Oh no, that's wrong.
Price is just like Lando. You know, he's so cool. He just says the names differently.
Yeah, Han.
It's regional.
Katrine. I thought that Lisa Katrine sounded cool. That to me sounded cool. But I'll go with Katrine. If that's Katrine is the right one, that'll be it.
It's his regional accent dialect from Mon Calamari.
So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to see if anybody has any questions. We have so many great people in the chat. If you have some questions, there's another person, Marks for 7. Marks for 7. I think it's Marks or Marks 47.
Marks 47, yeah.
I will say that with this episode, I thought it was a really great place to start from if you're a writer, because Sam is such a crazy super genius doing Carnegie Hall and playing chess and all that stuff, and then to throw him way to the opposite end of the spectrum where he has to deal with someone that's totally different from him. I thought that was a great starting point for a story.
And yet he continued to do his trend of reinventing or inventing all the medical techniques. If he invented CPR, we saw him invent the Heimlich maneuver, and then
the moonwalk.
No,
I don't think that's a medical maneuver.
Talks about the microwave,
music too.
The high five.
Oh yeah.
But there was the one where he was the test pilot and he was able to induct birth.
Oh,
it was another medical technique.
Yeah.
Well, actually
prevented it.
Premature birth with alcohol. Yeah. It's a form of tocolytics, actually.
So he's pretty much inventing all of the music and the medical techniques of the future.
White Beer here saying, hope you're on our show soon. I think he's referring to the show, the MMM one, movies. I'm trying to think of I'm after a flight. Is it
Monsters?
Movies Mayhem Madness?
Oh.
White Bear. In any case, that would be on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel. I probably butchered it, but I think I'm going to go with Movie Mayhem Madness. Probably wrong. I've been on that show. Again, I'm fumbling this. And I hope to be on there soon. It's a nice show where they watch older movies and discuss them. So it'll be nice to visit that again sometime. If I didn't fumble the thing.
I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
No, because I feel like I haven't slept in a few days, but I don't know. We do this every Thursday, and I didn't want to not do it. So I hope this isn't coming out as weird as it sounds to me when I hear myself talking.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's not as weird as it sounds. But I'm happy that you guys are here and that you're sort of keeping the ship afloat.
Yeah.
And
Mischief Mayhem movie.
Mischief. Yeah, it was close. It was close. What did I say? Movie Mayhem Madness? That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. It was similar to what the name of the show is. Which at this point, that's all we can hope. But here, Mischief Mayhem movie. Cool. Yeah, not a bad guess. I guess we can just sort of maybe just go around, give some final thoughts about the episode, like we usually do. Sean, and now think also of the previous episode you've seen until now. What do you think of this one?
It's solid. It's not, like you guys said, there's not a whole lot to really dissect other than, what I said about Sam being a super genius and being thrown to the opposite end of the spectrum. I thought if this was a novel, you would have so many inner monologues with Sam struggling with having to deal with his klutziness and stuff like that. Just a great starting point for a story, and solid. I'm still calling BS on the superpowers lunchbox at the beginning.
That was a mistake. Somebody has to answer for that mistake.
Somebody must. But
now, Tex Rogers has a comment, and when he writes comment, that means he wants us to answer. Does anybody know the director, James Whitmore Jr., also an actor and on the show.
Oh,
I don't know who this guy is. Yeah,
I've heard of him. Wait, James. Oh, you should.
Matthew Marcillo is answering him. He says James Whitmore directed many of the episodes. I feel like Matthew Marcillo just got off the same flight as I did. Many of the episodes, and did have a few cameo appearances throughout the series as well. Plus, his father is a veteran actor named James Whitmore.
The father was in Shawshank Redemption.
And somebody wrote, "Yeah, Matthew, that's old." That's old man Whitmore's boy.
That's funny.
You made me laugh, White Bear. I admit it.
But his dad was in B movies and stuff like Them from the 1950s and stuff.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
love him on Black Sheep Squadron. I don't know what that means, but
you don't remember Black Sheep Squadron?
I don't remember that. No.
Oh yeah, that was a World War II fighter plane type series back in the day.
I actually thought you were messing with him.
No.
Yeah, I thought you were messing with him too. Anyhow,
look it up, youngsters.
A very great actor.
There it is.
I like that there's some humor in our chat. It's great to see. Script, when you see this episode, also considering the other episodes we've seen until now, how do you feel about it?
I like it because it's endearing. It's also one of the most popular of the Quantum Leap episodes. It's got a high fan rating, a lot of discussion. Everybody likes the Jimmy character and how Sam tries to navigate him. The fact that Sam is screwing up and he's trying not to. He's just a huge. It's his biggest underdog moment in the show. And
right,
yeah, it does have a little bit of a preachy nature to it, but it's not trying to like talk down to people about it. It's just trying to expose the fact that in these periods of time, there's been some negligence and some dismissive attitudes towards people with disabilities that are not as detrimental as people originally thought they were. And because don't get me wrong, like I used to work in a center that had a section for people of challenging various different levels of challenge. And, there's a few there where they would still acted like they were 4 to 5, 6-year-olds and they're still loud, abusive and gropey. But there are some that were perfectly capable. They were just there really just for additional supervision in case they themselves, had a problem. Most of them actually had jobs near the area too. So, I mean, it's a wide spectrum of those things. But this episode kind of really shows that Jimmy's on the more self-reliant side of things. He just needs a little bit of encouragement, support to get him there. And Sam helps facilitate that. And I thought that was great.
I agree. And I think that, you could claim that there were parts that were preachy, but I don't feel it went on full on PSA here. I think that it showed different angles. And at the end, it does tell a story. And the reason I pointed out, and again, Nick is going to have a vodka now or whatever, is that especially on the new show, but not maybe other shows also like it, they don't have this kind of, they don't focus on the storytelling. There have been episodes of the new series that actually feel like a PSA, and it's almost like somebody breaks the fourth wall and is just lecturing to you. Mm-hmm. And I like that this episode doesn't do that. It tries to give you as realistic of a picture as it can about being with Down syndrome in 1964, with the exception of the Superman lunchbox or whatever Sean was talking about. But aside from that lunchbox that's keeping Sean up at night, I think that it did a pretty good job. I guess next we have Ro. What do you think of this episode? And Ro, it's great to hear your perspective, because although you actually do know a lot about science fiction, Quantum Leap is a show that you, the first time around, weren't really into, but now you're kind of getting into it now. So how does this episode look to you in comparison to the previous ones you've seen?
Like I said, this season, this second season is really surprising me. I think the quality of the storytelling is top notch. I think a couple of episodes we were talking about how the show kind of found its footing. I think it really has found its footing in this type of story. I think the storytelling, the portrayal of the scenarios has been in this season has been really kind of straightforward and serious, and again, not too preachy, but it does have they do have really cool messages. And I think the way that they are treating the messages in a respectful way has given me I guess the ability to really appreciate this show. I can't wait to see what the rest of I think we're halfway through season 2. But it's been fantastic to see these actors, Dean Stockwell especially. I think little by little you're really starting to see the scope of his skills as an actor, really. And I'm sad that I didn't catch it the first time around, and I'm really happy that you guys included me in this rewatch for this series, because it's really great, and I really enjoyed this episode. I didn't think I was going to, but I think because of the seriousness of the topic, I think the acting, the way they handled it, was really enjoyable to watch.
I agree, and I like how also we've been doing this for 17 weeks. We're 17 episodes into the series. It's not that first season that they're still kind of shaping it or kind of laying the groundwork. I feel like we're now at a point where the show is really, it's getting into its groove here. And I think that from what I recall, I think that the next week's episode is also an interesting one. So it'll be cool to do the rewatch for that one. Nick, what are your final thoughts about this episode?
It's interesting. I've mentioned before that you can't every week have the super serious, deep subject. You need some Good Morning Gloria type episodes to break that up. However, I actually felt like this episode was refreshing. Despite the subject matter, it did not feel super deep or super preachy. And I think that's the character of Jimmy is just so likable, and the way that Sam is doing it. I really liked the touches of how he was doing an impersonation, yet he didn't do the voice, which I think that would have put it too far, but he was physically, the way he was drooping his shoulders and kind of moving around and having some of those accidents. And I also thought it was neat how sometimes the things that happened weren't really because he was retarded. It was because they just happened. Things happen. But the way everybody reacted was always based on the fact that he was mentally disabled.
Right.
And so I thought that was a good way of, they didn't have to spell it out. They didn't have to say it, but they showed it. Like when he split up the fight with the kids, he did nothing wrong. He didn't harm that kid. He was just trying to hold that kid back.
In some cases, he actually did the right thing, or he didn't do anything wrong. And in some cases, he was kind of like, all over the place, dropping things and whatever. But it showed that it wasn't just that he's always just doing stupid things. It's that, he also does stuff that's good. And when he does, it doesn't get recognized. Until the CPR, which finally they appreciated that he knew how to bring that kid to life and what have you.
And so I really thought that this was a good episode. Like Ro, I really liked how they did the setup with him telling him the story of Star Wars, and then when he's dying, he's like, "You haven't even seen Star Wars yet." Like, that was the benchmark. You got to live till that.
It's a good thing that The Last Jedi hadn't come out yet, or else maybe that kid wouldn't have made it.
I'll save you from that.
He just like suffocates him. Yeah. Or he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah. He's like, it's for his own. He tells
for your own good.
He just throws the kid back into the river.
Right. He tells Frank and Connie, guys, it's for his own good.
Oh my God.
He's like, no, you can make another.
That went dark.
That did go dark. Again, I take responsibility. It's my jet lag. I will say I liked the episode. I thought it was a good episode, and it's nice that people have mentioned it. There's other references to this episode in later points of the series, and we'll just leave it at that. But
are they connected or?
I don't want to do any kind of spoiler.
Okay. Right.
It's not fair for me to do that, but I'll say that this episode, things that happen here are somehow relevant later on, and let's leave it at that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. And it'll take us a while until we reach that point, but it's still cool that such a thing even exists. I guess let's just go through the people, say goodbye to all the different things, and then you guys, you know what, we're going to flip that. First of all, everybody here plug whatever they're doing. Sean, is there anything you want to plug?
Click everyone at once.
Yeah.
You can get stickers at the Empty Store.
Stickers at realseankrummel.etsy.
realseankrummel.etsy.com. Check out the channel if you want.
I didn't get it right.
Still, that's fine.
I tried to search your Twitter. You actually need to post that on your Twitter.
Yeah, you should do one of those link trees where you click on it and then it has all that stuff in there.
Yeah, plus an OnlyFans, because everybody with the link tree has an OnlyFans.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Well, you have posts that say stickers are available, but nothing with the actual link.
Oh yeah, I have. Well, anyway.
By the way, I noticed that Matthew McGee is here, which didn't see him here before, but he's here. So I'm just letting people know. Script Doctor, anything you want to plug?
Yes.
Hold
Saturday.
on a second. Tex has a wonderful idea there. Sorry, Script. Tex has a wonderful idea. You got to make a sticker. I will buy a couple of those.
Yeah. But before that, also check out the channel. I'm working on a new sketch video, and that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. The sketch video. Script Doctor.
You're not driving, are you, Price?
No, I'm not driving. And you know what? I still have to do. I'm going to have to do another stream today, which I'm wondering how that's going to turn out. But yes. Wow. Yes, today.
There's 45 minutes left in the day.
Yeah,
the night is still young.
Depends on your region.
Oh boy.
So, Script, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, so this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Price will be joining me for another episode of Scripts on Saturdays, where we'll be reviewing a screenplay that's been circulating around trying to get purchased. So come check us out there again at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, on my channel at youtube.com/scriptdoctor. So
and I really will be there at 7. I know that sometimes I say the wrong time, but I plan to be there exactly when the show starts. So, Script, you have nothing to worry about. This is all going to work out.
Show up early for an audio test, just in case.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. It's totally going to work out.
We're going to be winging it. Well, Price isn't here, so I'm going to start the show.
Friday to sleep.
Ro, is there anything you want to plug?
I've been kind of taking a break from creating content, but this week I started back up, and we'll actually be doing a show. One of my followers suggested us doing a show on some really interesting Star Wars coffee table books. I didn't realize that I had quite a few, and one in particular, the Star Wars Chronicles, which is very large and heavy. We're going to flip through that and then, do a little chat about that and some of the other Star Wars coffee books out there, like costumes and ships and all that wonderful magical stuff. That'll be out next week.
Sounds awesome, man. I guess Nick, anything special you want to plug?
So today I dropped on my Back Yard Tardis channel my top 10 favorite Star Wars characters. I think it's a bit of a unique list, especially my top one. There's at least one in there that I know Sean will rage against, but
is your number one the Dianaga trash monster?
No. But and then last Friday I dropped my Locksmith Reacts to Hollywood on the South Park Paniverse thing. I did the first half of that. My second half will drop this Friday, kind of going over just the subtext there on college and versus the trades. And, can people trade geology for locksmithing?
Cool.
I want to see you criticize someone unlocking a parallel dimension. You'd be like, nope. It's a 7-pin. Wouldn't work.
I actually, I think I saw maybe you uploaded a short video onto your locksmithing thing. Is that possible?
Yeah, so my regular adventures in locksmithing, every week I drop 2 regular videos and 2 shorts for that. So, and then on Fridays I've been dropping the Locksmith React to Hollywood. But yeah, I had the short that I think just dropped today was about a person who got a steering column out of the wrong car from a pick and pull, put it in, and they tried to have me program a key to it. And I was like, none of this system is compatible. You need a lot more than a locksmith.
I actually, what was I going to say? That I think that when I look at your shorts and I try to react to them, it doesn't let me leave a comment. And I don't know if it's something that has to do with the way the app is installed on my phone. It's really weird. I can't leave comments anymore on your shorts. But it could be something that I'm doing wrong, just letting you know.
I'll look into it because maybe somehow I've got the shorts.
I hope you don't have something that it's like no comments or something. If not, maybe I have to reinstall the app on my phone. But in any case, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you guys as usual, and everybody here in the chat. There's been such nice interaction today. Really love from week to week seeing how this community grows and the support that we get, and even also the people that watch it later. Which there is a good amount of people that do that on their own time. We all greatly appreciate it here. And, just a quick round of goodbyes to everybody, from Tex Rogers to Ron Donofero to Lisa Katrine, Matthew Marcillo, Matthew Marcillo, Matthew McGee, Ishmael, Dust, White Bear 2, hopefully I didn't forget anybody.
Super Mario Brothers 3,
yeah. Dust.
Good crowd.
Really, really awesome. I love seeing people here every week, and let's just continue doing this thing that we do. I will say that for next week I am expected to be a little more focused. I want to thank the panel, especially this panel of nice gentlemen, for really supporting me today, because I like I said, I had a bit of a Swiss cheese memory myself, but I think that we got through it, and hopefully people had a good time, and that's really what's important. So with all of that positive talk, I'm going to find our outro and play it, and I guess we'll see you all next week. I'm such an awesome